Session of the Aurora City Council for Monday, January 12, 2024 is called to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Katie, go ahead and call the roll.
Mayor Kaufman?
Here.
Councilmember Andrews? Here. Councilmember Bergen?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Coombs?
Present.
Somebody is unmuted and joined the meeting. Make sure you're muted.
Anybody in the meeting? Looks good.
Mayor Pro Tem Coombs?
Ooh, ouch.
Councilmember Gardner?
Phone.
Councilmember Hancock? Councilmember Horton?
Here.
Councilmember Jackson? Councilmember Lawson?
Here.
Councilmember Medina? Here. Councilmember Wiles? Here. There's a quorum.
There's no mayor's update. Are there any issue updates? Seeing none, is there any objection to moving the consent calendar forward, item number 2A through 2I?
Yes.
Councilmember Hancock.
I want to move item number 2I.
I'm sorry, 2I? Okay. Then is there objection for moving the consent calendar forward, item number 2A through 2H? Seeing none, then that consent calendar will move forward. Item number 2I, 2026 state and federal legislative priorities. Liz Rogers, formerly Liz Lemon, but she doesn't get that.
Thank you for that clarification, Mayor. Hi, everyone. Liz Rogers, Intergovernmental Relations Manager. The 2026 priorities were pulled for state and federal. They should be in your backup. Happy to take any questions on these, comments, or concerns.
Questions of Liz?
Not directly. I have, well, sorry.
Councilmember Hancock.
Thank you, Mayor, because I got excited. I was at the Pfizer committee meeting, and I was a little bit confused, so I have some questions I need some clarification on. Specifically, I wanted to ask Councilmember Coombs, I wanted to understand the factual basis and the practical effect of your proposed edits to the city's home rule legislative priorities. You said in an article that we should not treat home rule as a cudgel. Can you cite one example where Aurora invoked home rule improperly, either through issue, on date, and the city position that you believe was wrong?
Mayor Pro Tem.
Mayor, so it's not about whether or not we can invoke the home rule authority. It's about the approach that we take to the legislature in doing it. So when we say every time that we have a disagreement, this is because of home rule, right? If home rule is a possible objection, then I think that reduces our efficacy in approaching the legislature about home rule specifically. So in this whole last conversation about land use priorities, when we also objected on home rule in relation to sentencing, right, in the same session, anytime that FSIR had an objection, they also invoked home rule, even if the objection was also grounded in other issues. And so the reason that I requested those changes is specifically that we need to be really direct about what are our issues that we have. If it's about the legislation itself and the philosophy behind the legislation, we need to be honest about that. And when we are invoking home rule, we have to acknowledge that it is possible, even with the home rule provisions of the Constitution, that the legislature can reasonably argue that something is a matter of statewide concern. We cannot say because we have laws on this or we have made laws on this historically, that means it is not a matter of statewide concern. And I think that the way that we've approached them in those conversations has not been from a collaborative standpoint of how do we come to agreement about what is and is not a home rule issue.
So
Councilmember
you're
Hancock.
not, Mayor?
Councilmember
Sorry.
Hancock.
Okay, because it's my question here.
Okay.
So you're not describing a pattern without identifying a single instance. That sounds, is that fair? So what specifically made it improper? What was the legal aspect of what you're factually trying to assert here?
Well, I'm not a lawyer. I'm talking about the collaborative legislative process with our fellow legislative body. So I didn't make a legal argument. I made an argument about how we engage collaboratively with our partners at the legislature who were also elected by the same people who elected us.
So, and yet you're trying to diminish the impact of what our home rule authority is supposed to be, though you're not a lawyer. That notwithstanding, you said also that we shouldn't promote the perception of home rule as absolute. I don't know, these guys are new, so they don't have a dog in this fight for the rest of us. Who on this council has said home rule was absolute? Anyone?
Yeah.
Anyone?
I did. I think
just-
it's,
I
think
it's
I did.
Article,
So if it
Article
is
20,
absolute-
Article 20, Section 6 of the Constitution. I
So,
think that's pretty clear.
if it's absolute, I'm just asking the question, so if no one did, if we did that, do you agree that home rule aggressively without claiming this is effective and appropriate for us to continue to dilute it in the way that you're asserting that we should do by saying we're going to be collaborative and cooperative? To me, this signals to our state government that it's okay. It's like going into battle with a shield that you decide to put behind your back. And you get arrows from the state legislature because once you start down this road, you can't go back.
Mayor.
Okay, Mayor Pro Tem. And then
So-
Councilmember Berger.
Thank you.
I think that's another place that we've fallen short in our conversation about home rule is invoking the logical fallacy of a slippery slope over and over and over again. Agreeing that certain circumstances merit shared responsibility between the state and local government or coordination across municipalities through our state government is not the same as saying we're never going to assert home rule authority or home rule authority no longer exists. And that's really all I have to say on that.
Councilmember Hancock, for concluding remarks, and then I want to give to Councilmember Berger.
Well, that whole slippery slope argument, that is also a straw man, and I wholeheartedly reject that argument. We have home rule authority to protect our city and our way of life and how we rule our city, not to have state government tell us what to do. And so any attempt to weaken that language signals that we are opening the door to opportunities for the state government to impose its will on us in every aspect of how our city operates. And I would beg to ask, where is this coming from? What constituents, since we serve the constituents of this city, who lobbied you to say, I want you to take away home rule authority or to start the process of taking home rule authority from our city because this is what we, the citizens of Aurora, want?
Councilmember Berger.
Okay, so I was pretty firm, I believe, in prior discussions that we have a right to home rule authority per the state constitution, and they have shown that they have overstepped with all the mandates that they put forward without, and I would love to collaborate with our state legislators. They don't collaborate with us. They don't care what we say. Even when we've put a monitor or whatever, what's the other term?
Position?
Yeah, position. They don't ever consider our position at all. It's just basically, hey, we're in charge with the majority. We'll do whatever we want. And for all the residents of the city of Aurora, first of all, most people don't even understand what home rule authority is. They don't understand what policies are going forward at the state level, at the city level. We are elected to protect the interest of our residents. And, whether it be land use or sentencing or anything else, they have continued to erode our home rule authority over and over and over. And I think where the mayor and I made a statement is that once you let them erode that home rule authority. Eventually, we will never have home rule authority. It will be taken away from us, and we have a right to determine the future and destiny of our city, which is unique to any other city in the state of Colorado. And I think it's fine to oppose any infringement on home rule authority. What is wrong with stating we oppose that infringement? We can have conversations, behind the scenes, but that is our position.
Mayor?
Mayor Pro Tem, and then Councilmember Gardner.
Yeah, so in relation to that, so two things. This doesn't say we're not going to pursue issues related to home rule authority. It says that there is no, right, I still preserved some of the language that Liz put forward, and then I just, instead of keeping the longer language, I said we want clarity and consistency, because I think that's what we actually need, is a clear sense of what are the criteria that we're using and that they're using, and then consistently applying that across cases. And I think that's the issue that we've been having, is that we're talking past each other. I think that's part of why the collaboration isn't happening, because we're not getting that clarity and that consistency from either side, other than in the view that home rule is absolute. And I think because we keep coming at them in our position in a way that's not collaborative in what statements we make as council members. So I think that we just need to try a different approach.
Let me go.
Because our approach hasn't been
Real
effective.
quick
Councilmember Gardner, and
clarification.
then Councilmember Gardner.
So you're fine with us opposing infringement on home rule authority?
Yes.
You're still okay with oppose?
Yes, it
Okay.
still says.
Okay.
We want clarity and consistency.
Liz,
And it
I'm
also
sorry.
says we want to maintain the funding, right? That they can't say we're taking away the funding that came to cities specifically. So I took out the section on overly burdensome regulations, red tape, et cetera, because we've been shouting that at them for the whole time I've been on council, and it's seldom been effective.
Liz, do you have something?
Yes, if it would be helpful, I'm happy to read out what is currently in the backup for what it says for preemption, if that's all right with you, Mayor and everyone. Okay. So under Municipal Home Rule Authority, it does say oppose state preemption of local authority. There is not a one-size-fits-all approach to transportation, economic development, or other issues. The city requests consistency and clarity with respect to home rule authority.
Councilmember Gardner.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Councilmember Lawson.
Yeah, I just want to say something too, as being the Pfizer chair for many, many years, almost 9 years. One of the things that we have done, and I know that I've done, is I met with a lot of our delegation, state delegation. And we go and we've set up these meetings. It's been myself, some of the state lobbyists, Liz, and we've talked about our priorities. And a lot of them at the state legislature, our delegation in particular, they're like, hey, we understand, we understand. But then when we get to the actual policies and we actually get to the legislation that happens, it seems like it flips. I've talked to Representative Wiseman. I've had conversations, very good conversations with Representative Judah, Senator Judah. All of our delegation, because that's something that I try to do, especially in our off-season areas, and Liz sets those up. We sit down there, we talk about our priorities. They're like, yeah, we understand this. They kind of give us a little bit of feedback. I don't really hear a lot about how we're not really explaining home rule authority. And they're like, yeah, we understand because we believe this with our residents. They get to the state legislature, everything flips. It's something totally different. Let's look at parking minimums. That's not that passed. That is definitely, that's just one example. That is not an all-size-fit-all. And they're just like, okay, well, they're not really understanding the landscape of Aurora, but they're supposed to live here and supposed to support the delegation. So when you say having a collaborative, that's something I know that I've done, but when we get to the actual legislation, it seems like it flips when we get to the state house. So I really believe that we need to be strong about this, and like Councilmember Bergen, Councilmembers Hancock stated, if we let it go little by little, because this seems like a little bit watered down to me. We don't have to put the unfunded mandates and all of that, but I think we need to be strong that here, we are in Aurora, we're representing our residents. A bunch of state legislatures, some of them don't even live in Aurora, are telling us what we need to do. And that's why we're in the lawsuit that we're in right now. So I believe in having a little bit stronger language, and I definitely don't believe watering this down.
Okay.
So that's my
I'm sorry,
response.
Councilmember Gardner.
Yeah, I think the language needs to be as strong as possible. I'll repeat what I said earlier, but regardless of whether or not you agree with the underlying principle, the fact remains that home rule exists for a reason, and the day will come when legislation comes forward that you don't like, but we've already given away our ability to fight that. We've already given away our ability to govern our own city. Look at the federal government. Look what's happening in the federal government. That same thing could happen to the state government. The day could come where you don't like that. And specifically on housing, that's a really, really important issue because council members are the primary land use commissioners for their cities. That is a primary responsibility that we have. And, I think about some of the recent state legislation, like the ADU legislation. If somebody were to bring forward legislation saying ADUs were allowed everywhere in Aurora, an ordinance, I would support it. The issue is, it doesn't come from the state level, it comes from the city level. I know you're going to freak out, Councilmember Bergen. That's not the point. The issue is that it comes from the city level and that we are the land use commissioners for the city that we live in, for the city that we represent. We are representative government. And this watered-down statement is crap. And frankly, when you say things like, well, we need to be more collaborative, collaboration goes both ways, and it has not gone both ways. And so to say, well, it's on us to be more collaborative, we've been collaborative. We've been collaborative for a long time. We've made our issues known for a long time with some of these one-size-fits-all pieces of legislation, specifically that relate to housing as land use commissioners, and we've gotten a big middle finger. And so to lecture your colleagues and say, well, you need to be more collaborative, why don't you lecture your counterparts in the state legislature and tell them they need to be more collaborative as well. The next piece of it is, and this kind of goes along the same way, this explore street racing and increase penalties for street racing. I'm opposed to that. Street racing is a city issue. It's a municipal issue. If there's something happening on a state highway, then I guess the state can take care of that. But for the same reason, I'm not opposed or I am opposed, I should say. I'm not in favor of the state doing increased penalties for street racing that take place on local roads. That's all.
Let me ask the city attorney on that one issue. And let me say, if there's a recommendation for language that needs to come before us, because I get the debate, we're having the debate, but we need to move forward.
What's the question, Mayor?
Well, on the street racing issue.
So, there are, depending on what the cities would like to do on the street racing, there is some preemption in the state law based on, the state traffic code. So, we can do stuff with the model traffic code, but there are limitations, especially with the new Supreme Court case.
Right.
I just came out. We are limited to what's the, what is in state code for sentences. So, it would be good to be able to work with the legislature, I think, to be able to see what we can do to increase penalties if that's what the city wants to do.
And we don't have jurisdiction on 225.
Correct.
Okay. Is there some recommended language from Mayor Pro Tem?
Yeah, so not on street racing, I'll leave that to Councilmember Gardner, but on the home rule, hearing Councilmember Gardner's concern, I think it's fine to include housing in that list. It was originally in the list, so put housing back in. But I don't understand what's weak about asking specifically for clarity and consistency, which I think has been lacking in the conversation. I'm not sure why, I was trying to make the language stronger and more specific about what we can do to be more collaborative, how we can engage and what the terms of engagement can be.
City attorney.
So I'm going to step in just for a second for parliamentary stuff. So Mayor Pro Tem, you mentioned about putting housing back in. Do you have the exact language so we can get that on the record so we know where we're debating?
So just adding the word housing before comma and other issues, or we could even say land use broadly, right? We could just say land use instead of housing. So put comma, land use, comma, and other issues. So it's just literally inserting land use there. That's fine.
Liz, you have that? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay, is there any objection? Councilmember Hancock.
I still oppose making any changes to the current language at all. I think this is a Trojan horse we go in, we start making little incremental, it's like the Chinese water torture. We do one drop, one step back, and before we know it, we've lost all of our authority. I don't think we need to change
Okay.
this at all.
Councilmember Bergen, Councilmember Horton, we
Yeah.
need to move on.
I mean, I would want land use in there because that includes housing and zoning that,
I guess you give and you get.
well, what we're saying is we oppose state preemption of local authority, and there's not a one-size-fits-all approach to. It's just making a statement. My fear was that we left out land use, as Councilmember Gardner pointed out, which is a huge responsibility that we have. So as
Why do
long
we
as
need to
we're
put it in
opposing.
there?
Okay, that's one
So that
person at
they,
a time.
Sorry.
no, sorry. We want it in there so that they don't think, oh, we're just only concerned about transportation, economic development, and then we're not concerned about land use.
Okay.
Either leave it all out or put land use back in.
Land use planning? Okay.
I mean-
Mayor Pro Tem put it forward first, so is there any objection to the Mayor Pro Tem's recommendation of substituting that, some of your language, of land use planning?
Just adding that into the list.
Liz, you want to, Liz,
Do you want me to
what?
read it out loud for the new ones? Okay. So this is how it would read. There is not a one-size-fits-all approach to transportation, economic development, land use, or other issues. The city requests consistency and clarity with respect to home rule authority.
Well, I'm sorry, where did you put land use planning in that?
She did.
One-size-fits-all approach to transportation, economic development, land use, or other issues.
Okay, is it land use planning or land use?
It was just said land use.
I just heard land use.
That covers planning and.
Everything.
Okay,
and
okay.
Zoning.
Okay, so that, discussion on that, is there objection
Yes.
to that language? Okay, then,
Well, I have another question. So I do agree that the statement administratively burdensome regulations is subjective. What I might consider overly burdensome, somebody else might not. And so I can acknowledge that. But unfunded mandates, that is an objective statement. It is either unfunded or it's not. It's either the state telling us something that we have to fund without providing funding, or it's not. And so while I might be okay with removing the burdensome regulations, because that is a subjective statement, I don't think we should remove mentioning unfunded mandates, because that is an issue for us. We're cutting, what is it, this Friday? We're telling all of our employees, you're not getting paid. And one of the reasons we're telling all of our employees they're not getting paid is because we have continued to receive unfunded mandates from the state, where they have put things on us that we have to pay for and haven't given us a way to pay for it. And again, that goes back to that collaboration piece. And when we tell them we don't have the budget for it, we don't have a way to pay for it, we're told tough. And so the regulation piece I could live with, but the unfunded mandate is a really big deal, especially when we're telling our employees 4 days this year, you're not going to get paid.
okay. Is there any objection to both changes, Mayor Pro Tem's and Councilmember Gardner's changes? Mayor Pro Tem.
Yeah, I just want to clarify, so Liz, that would be bringing back the second section, but saying only unfunded mandates, not the rest of the
I
items?
believe so. That's what I'm hearing.
Okay.
Give
Can
me
you
a minute and I can
how
read it
that
out.
reads?
So this would take away the unfunded mandate part of it.
Okay. Councilmember Horton.
I think we want to
Sorry.
keep unfunded mandate,
Oh,
and just the
yes.
rest of the language would be out.
Okay.
Councilmember Horton, I'm sorry.
It's okay. So in terms of strengthening the language, I think there could be a replacement of the word request to the word expects.
Oh, I like that.
So we've got another, so as soon as you have those three, can you read it back to us?
Yeah, so sorry, apologies. The city, instead of request, what was the change?
Expects.
Expect to request.
Expects consistency.
Okay, so the second sentence of opposed state preemption of local authority would read, the city expects consistency and clarity with respect to home rule authority. That's that part, okay. And then for, oh, sorry, Mayor, can I continue?
Mayor Pro Tem had a change and Councilman Gardner had a change.
So yeah, I think we're trying to get Councilmember Gardner's change.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so for Councilmember Gardner's change, oppose unfunded regulations, is that correct?
Unfunded
Unfunded
mandates.
Mandates, okay.
Okay. Is there any further questions or comments?
Mayor, can Liz read the whole?
Okay,
So we can.
okay. Liz, can you read the whole thing?
Yep.
Revised, with all
okay.
the revisions?
Both provisions in totality that were added?
Yes.
Okay. So for the first one, it's oppose state preemption of local authority. There is not a one-size-fits-all approach to transportation, economic development, land use, or other issues. The city expects consistency and clarity with respect to home rule authority.
Okay. Is there any objection? I see none, then that's,
This is a second one. So opposing unfunded mandates. The city opposes unfunded mandates. Unfunded mandates increase regulatory red tape, delay projects, and have negative budget impacts. We oppose unfunded mandates without significant input from municipalities.
okay.
Can we take out, the red tape and so just the unfunded, so like that sentence?
Yep.
Just unfunded mandates?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Does anybody need it reread again? Is there any objection?
Yeah, once it's
Okay.
changed.
Okay.
Okay.
The city opposes unfunded mandates. Unfunded mandates delay projects and have negative budget impacts. We oppose unfunded mandates without significant input from municipalities.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, is there any objection? Okay, that's the direction we'll take. Items from the policy committees, item number 3A. Councilmember Medina?
Yep, pass that on to Trevor Ball.
Mayor?
Yes, Councilmember Hancock.
I wanted to pull this, actually.
You want to pull it?
Yes.
That would take, does that take some majority of council?
So it's studies, so, Councilmember Harris, let me,
Help me understand, because maybe,
okay.
I have questions about the implementation of this, should this move forward. And I don't think that we've had enough stakeholder engagement and comment on this. I know that BAB did a business roundtable on Friday. Was it Friday? Thursday?
48 hours ago.
48 hours ago. And I don't think before we do stuff to our businesses that we're trying to incent to come into our city, we want to make sure that we're doing the right things. And I think this requires more investigation and more study and more data.
You're a sponsor, and Councilmember Medina, you're a sponsor. Are you okay with pulling this and putting it on a future study session?
I would like to have it on a future
I would
date.
like to at least present the information, and then I'll reconsider that once I get the information out,
So that's fine too. You can present it, and at the end, you can say whether you want it to move forward. You can just say, no, we're going to hold it, or we're going to move forward to a council.
I think this will be a constant back and forth of stalling if, business this and that, and everybody wanted to.
I don't know what that means.
Revamp that.
So generally, since both sponsors aren't in agreement, we will continue with how it is on the agenda, and at the end, we can figure out if it'll move
Can I
forward or
make a
not.
statement?
Councilmember.
The Business Advisory Board met on Friday. Wouldn't we want to wait till we have all that information before we even do any of this discussion? Because we should consideration what the business community input is. And it contradicted what you told me. So I would like to have all that. I mean, I think every single member here needs to have the report from the Business Advisory Board. And I think that would be fair, Councilmember Medina, from you to make sure, like, I pretty much support this, but I want to hear any unintended consequences that might hurt us in the future before we make new laws.
So is your intention then, what you're asking for is a delay? I'd like to do it to a date certain if you're
Date
going to
certain,
delay
yeah.
it.
That is what I'm
And so
asking,
the
'cause
date
I
certain then
need
would be the
Next study session.
regular study session?
What's the first day in February?
26th of the 9th.
The 9th.
The 9th.
I'd like to move it to the 9th.
Okay. Is there objection to
Well,
moving
Medina,
this to the
Medina,
9th?
You need to ask her.
He's a sponsor, so.
Right, well,
Just keep stalling over these things. It's not going to change my mind, I think, talking to them, but I'm willing to go ahead and stop it and talk to whoever I need to talk
so
to.
you're okay with delaying it? Okay.
Just so
So
it can
then,
sound-
is there objection to delaying it to, what was it?
February 9th.
February 9th? Very well, then that will give adequate time. Okay, item number 3B,
Oh, sorry.
Councilmember Bergen.
And just so before the February 9th, can we get the backup from the BAB?
We'll amend the backup to include BAB as well as any other substantive comments we've gotten. Is the direction I think I heard is you want us to go back out, get the BAB comments. If there's other input, I think what I've heard is a broader call for other things. So any of that input that we get, we'll amend the backup
Okay,
to include.
thank you.
Okay.
And I just want to be on the record, I am not opposed to what we're doing here. I just feel like we need to have more information before we move forward,
Very well.
making this,
Okay, but the decision is to delay till February 9th?
yeah.
Very
that's
well.
fine.
Item number 3B, Planning and Annexation Boundary Amendment 2026. Daniel Krasnowski.
Daniel K.
Daniel Alphabet. Okay.
Good afternoon, Council, Mayor, and others. My name is Daniel Krasnowski. I'm a supervisor with the city's Planning and Business Development Department. Today, I'm joined in this presentation with Alexander Davis, who's one of the Assistant General Managers with Aurora Water. And the topic of this briefing is the city's planning and annexation boundary and a proposed amendment that we're bringing forward at this point. This is a topic that doesn't come before council very often, so we wanted to provide a little bit of time to answer questions about what this is, how it's used, and what really is the impetus for the amendment at this point. Just very briefly, what the planning and annexation boundary, or the PAB, is. It's a city tool used for the very sort of long-range planning of land use, infrastructure, and city services in areas that are sort of outside of the city's current boundaries. It's looking at long-term growth, potential annexation beyond our current boundaries. It identifies those areas where the city would like to consider future annexations. In fact, per city code, if a property owner wants to annex into the city, they can only submit an application if they're within this boundary area. Obviously, the city council and city will review those applications on a case-by-case basis, so it doesn't make any decisions ahead of time, but it's really sort of guiding those areas that we might want to consider in the future and identifying those areas where we don't want to grow for a variety of reasons. This boundary is found within our city's comprehensive plan, which is our master plan for development and economic development. And amendments to this are required to go through city council as an ordinance amendment. And I can talk a little bit more about potential next steps for this amendment. But at this time, I wanted to hand it over to Alexandra to talk about sort of what prompted this specific amendment at this time. And I'll hand it over. Thanks.
Good afternoon and evening, and I'll try to be quick. I understand we might be running a little behind time. However, we might have just made that up, thanks to Councilwoman Hancock. This is a presentation that a couple of you might have seen already, and certainly you've seen parts of it. So particularly welcome to the new council members. And I know we got an opportunity to share this map with you previously, but you'll see it a lot in your tenure on council. And the council members who've been here probably have this memorized because we almost always start with this map. So Aurora's water supply is varied and it extends through 3 different basins, river basins. So we get water from the upper Colorado River Basin, we get water from the upper Arkansas, from the lower Arkansas River Basin, we get water from the upper South Platte and the lower South Platte River Basins. Some of our water travels 150 miles. We have thousands of miles of pipes. We have 12 reservoirs. We have 300 water rights. Our water right system is very complex and it's very robust. And part of the reason for that is because Aurora came to the water rights game a little late. Aurora had initially, when we were a little tiny city, in the 1950s, Denver was supplying our water. And then Denver decided that they were not going to expand boundaries, and Aurora decided to grow its own water supply. Well, as you all know, or at least some of you know, and some of you are learning, the water in Colorado in the 1950s, you're talking about a very junior water right. So, the call on the streams are 1860s, 1870s. So we came to the game kind of late. So we had to build a very robust system, and we have done so with the help of previous councils. We have a lot of metrics that we use to watch our water supply and to know where we are and how well we're doing. And one of the important things is storage. Because, as all of you know, being Coloradans, Colorado is an arid, we are living in an arid desert, right? Semi-arid desert that's becoming hotter and drier. We live on the plains in Colorado. Most of the water comes in the form of snowpack in the winters and runs off in the spring. The rivers are very flashy rivers. The Colorado River was known for being a really flashy river. The South Platte as well. Those rivers ran hard and fast in the spring and dry up to a trickle in the fall. So without storage, your water supply is severely impaired. We have 12 reservoirs that we use, that we own in full or in part with other partners. And we track that storage very closely. You can see, let's see if my little pointer works. Can you see that? Oh, yeah, you can. So you can see where we are right now is this red line here as we're going into our declining months. But you all may be aware that snowpack is not doing great this year. So we're really hoping that that's going to turn around. We follow a lot of data that the USGS tracks, that the state tracks around what precipitation is going to do, what temperature is going to do. Temperature is hugely important for water supply and water availability. The forecast right now is not looking good. This is for November, December, and January. It's looking hotter and drier in Colorado, which is probably no surprise to anyone at this table. One of the things the Water Department started about 10 years ago, when I started, we were just finishing the first integrated water management plan. That integrated water master plan, I always call it management plan, integrated water master plan helped us consolidate all of the needs of the water department. So we're looking at water supply, looking at treatment and distribution, and we're looking at stormwater as well as wastewater. So a lot of different elements coming together to make sure that, one, we were properly funded to make sure that we could build what we needed to build, when we needed to build it by, and two, that we understood what our demands were going to be. This map is really important for tonight's purposes. So the black boundary is, of course, the planning area boundary, which is one of the main things we're talking about tonight. That is the current planning area boundary. And you can see the red are areas that we do not expect to serve, even though they're inside the boundary. And that's because they are either served by another water provider, or the big red square down at the bottom, that's the Lowry Ranch, owned by the State Land Board. So if it were to be developed, it would be served by Rangeview at this point, but the idea is for it not to be developed. There's a little pink in the far left corner that's missing from this map that you'll see in another one. But so those are large areas that we, in our planning, did not include as providing water service to, because currently they are on groundwater wells, or they're being provided water by a provider who's got groundwater wells or a provider who's on surface water. The gray, except for the area that's supposed to be pink in the lower left, the gray is those areas of cities that are already built out. That's already built. The green is areas that are within the city boundary. So those areas are already annexed, and they are included in our water planning. The yellow is areas within the planning area boundary that are not yet annexed into the city. So our integrated water master plan did not include the pink areas. It did include a heavy emphasis in terms of figuring out what our demands are going to be going forward. It included what our conservation programs are. And I know the council members who have been here have a great understanding and have been hugely supportive of our conservation program, which is, we have a nationally recognized conservation team, which has been awarded platinum status, and it's the only one in Colorado, and it's one of 5 in the nation that has that status. So incredible conservation that's included. And it also includes this non-functional turf ban, which this council set the stage for. You were the first ones to do that non-functional turf ban, and you set the stage for the rest of the state, which followed suit later. But those are important limitations on demand. If we don't follow through with those, our demand will be bigger than we expect it to be. So looking at the demand.
Just one question, just to clarify, because I might get questions from my residents. If you can go back one slide. You did say the red portion that is east of the reservoir is the Lowry Ranch, and therefore they would not be using our water. But also, can you tell me, isn't that primarily, like, there shouldn't be development, it should be conservation?
Correct.
Okay.
Most of the Lowry Ranch is in what's called their stewardship fund, the state land board stewardship bucket, so it's not supposed to be developed or not intended to be developed. Actually, Marshall and I were just meeting with the state land board last week and talked about that to make sure that Aurora is in whatever loop is going on. And I think they just signed another agreement with the county of Arapahoe to do a study. So we want to find out what that study is going to be. But there is a small section north of Quincy of that Lowry Ranch that the state land board was hoping to develop into residential homes. I think the city helped push that effort back about 10 years ago, and I haven't heard anything recently about it, but I know the city weighed in and was opposed to that about 10 years ago.
Okay, thank you.
Councilmember Andrews.
Does the city still have a plan for a zero-scaping plan, or zero-scaping project for those underserved areas?
We do. We have, I am not going to go into depth on our conservation program tonight, but would be very happy to do that. And I think we're doing an orientation with you next Thursday, so we can make sure to cover those areas in more detail. So projected future water demand, our water master plan helps define and uses this very robust tool. Modeling tools are very complicated these days, in order to help us determine what we're going to need. And in this number, so the 2020 number is 93,193 acre feet. And those of you who are more used to these numbers will note that what we deliver on average is 55,000 acre feet. So it's important to see that that number, that 93,000, includes losses in the system, so evaporation off the reservoirs, stream losses on the way down. Those losses, which are increasing due to climate change, were in 2012, they were about 10% of our water supply, is what we would lose, say, from Spinney down to Aurora Res, or, well, that goes into Rampart Pipeline. So say from Homestake Reservoir over the divide, that we would lose about 10% of our water. More recently, it's almost 20%. That loss is almost doubled. So that's very concerning, and we expect it to get larger as it gets hotter and drier in the state. That 93,000 acre feet also includes our golf courses, our SOS courses that we use non-potable water for, as well as our contractual commitment. So we have a couple of entities who are extraterritorial that Aurora is committed to providing water to due to arrangements and contracts signed many years ago. And so basically, we need almost 2 acre-feet for every acre-foot of water delivered in the city. And that's a helpful number to remember for later. But what we can see is that today we need 93,000 acre-feet. In the future, we're going to need 116 by 2060. That's about 24,000 acre-feet more than we have now. And I'll tell you why that's a big number. And then it can get even larger. So we're looking at being very concerned about our ability to meet the future. So this graph, I love. It shows you the blue, the solid blue is our current water supply. And you can see that it gradually reduces due to warming and because right now we have leases. We have about 10,000 acre-feet available to us through water leasing, and those leases are going to expire, and we don't expect to be able to re-up those leases in the future. The speckled blue is Prairie Waters, and for you new council members, you may remember from orientation, Prairie Waters is a 100% reuse facility. It's hugely important to our base supply and our drought-proof supply because it allows us to reuse our existing water very efficiently. The speckled orange is the expansion of Prairie Waters. So Prairie Waters is slated to go right now, it's about 10 MGD. In a couple of years, we'll have it up to 30 MGD, and it's slated to go up to 50 MGD. The dark orange is the spot that is causing the requests that we are bringing you to tonight. That dark orange are projects that we have identified through the master planning process and through all of our planning processes. Those projects are everything we can think of in order to access the water that we need. So that dark orange is an important piece in terms of meeting the demand line, which of course is the dark black line at the top. For those of you who are a little newer to Aurora Water, the city, this council has been extremely supportive of Aurora Water doing some super innovative things. We have bought a mine. We didn't buy the mine. We spent 2 years making sure the city would have zero liability associated with an abandoned gold mine, but we got the water that was coming out of that mine, which was a huge step forward. We have the turf ordinance. We have a partnership where we bought a farm down in the Arkansas Valley, which is kind of setting the stage for how agriculture and cities can work together going forward in a way that keeps both really viable. We have a direct potable reuse that we are working on, which will probably be the first in the state to bring direct potable reuse. The large water user guide is one of the reasons why our general manager, Marshall, is being asked to speak nationally on data centers because that large water user guide is forcing data centers to reduce their water use in Aurora. And then we have our fee and allocation structure, which is really designed to push down use and to implement the proper price for water while making sure that everybody gets water, right? Everyone needs water. But there are people who are large users who can pay a little bit more for water. So we've really been as innovative as we can possibly think. And going forward, those innovations are going to be harder, as are the water supply opportunities to get more water. So without doing a deep dive into Colorado water allocation, which can be rather complicated, the mountain water supply, so the Colorado River, you may be aware, if you get feeds on water, I won't even say newspapers anymore, I read a newspaper, but a lot of people don't, you will see a lot of articles on the crisis going on in the Colorado River. It's going to be very difficult to get more water out of the Colorado River system. We have one more project that we're hoping to accomplish something with, probably won't be as much as we wanted. The Arkansas also is over-appropriated. So over-appropriated is a Colorado water law term. That means there are more demands for water than there is water available to meet those demands. The Arkansas is over-appropriated 100% of the time, unless it's in flood stage. The Colorado River, fairly similar. The South Platte, the upper South Platte is completely over-appropriated. There are no opportunities left there. There are some opportunities left in the lower South Platte. the lower South Platte water supply is, it's more complicated to move upstream, it's more expensive to move upstream, and it's a lower quality, so it's more expensive to treat as well. So it's not great options, but it is our main option that's left. Portfolio E is in our lower South Platte master plan, we put together a list of everything we could think of for the lower South Platte water available. What pipelines could we build? What ditches could we buy into? And Portfolio E is everything. It is everything we could think of that's actually potentially feasible, but it is aspirational and will be very difficult to do. And it is very expensive. As you can see, total build-out estimated is $1.5 to $3 billion for Portfolio E, which explains in part why water conservation is so important to the city, to all of us, because for every acre foot of water we save, it's a 1-to-1 ratio, whereas new water, we need almost a 2-to-1 ratio. So that savings becomes much more valuable, and it's much cheaper to save water than it is to acquire new water supply. So just leaning into conservation is going to be very important to continue and going forward, which includes xeric gardens, and we're very happy to help everybody get a new beautiful xericscape into their yards, which takes us ultimately to our policy recommendations. And all of this water work we're doing, when we look at build out and when we look at that master plan, there is a space in which it breaks, in which we cannot meet all of the demands that would be created by if every piece of land in the existing planning area boundary were annexed into the city. We would not be able to serve them water. And we don't want to create an expectation or any sort of legal right of someone in the planning area boundary to come to the city and say, well, I've been expecting you to provide me resources and now you're not going to be able to do it. We want people to understand that it can't happen. I mean, I don't think we've got enough money, and even if we had enough money, it wouldn't make the water appear. So one of the important recommendations that we are bringing to you is to reduce the planning area boundary. We created this map in conjunction with a number of departments in the city. We talked to the planning department, to PROS, to all of the important departments in the city who were impacted by this. We took it to the Planning and Economic Division, and I guess I'm running out of time. I feel the hook coming. and we took it to the Planning Commission, all of whom unanimously supported reducing the planning area boundary as proposed. These other recommendations are also for you and very important as well. May I run through them very quickly? Or
Sure, yeah.
Okay. There are some pieces in the city where you can see that the yellow is surrounded by the gray or the green, right? So there are places where annexation makes sense and can be strategic because it's surrounded by city or it's adjacent to city. So new annexations, we would strongly recommend prioritize infill and strategic locations. We would strongly recommend creating a policy that says the city will not enter into any future extraterritorial agreements. And one of the important pieces of that, we have regularly people come, development come and ask that we would give them water. I think the number was it 33,000 acre feet of all of the potential needs in the red and adjacent. So if the water providers in the red areas fail and the communities around our boundary fail, it could be an enormous water burden on the city. And so by letting in one, there's going to be another ask right behind that. Letting in another, it'll be a death by 1,000 cuts. Planning area boundaries should be strategically trimmed, suggested here. And then again, we should continue to really focus on converting that non-functional turf and creating water-wise landscapes, as a significant amount of our water is used outdoors. Any questions? I think that closed it.
None. Thank you.
Okay, so if you
Thank
all
you.
are okay with this, this will be a comp plan amendment. We will move this forward for formal action. Is there any opposition to that, Mr. Mayor?
Is there any objection?
All right, we will move forward a comp plan amendment to adjust that boundary as you saw here. If there's any questions, as you all have time to digest this, please let us know.
Okay. Now we're on outside agency appointments.
We have 24 outside agencies we need to fill. They were in your backup, so the mayor and I are going to move through them very quickly, and I'll turn it over to Mr. Mayor.
So the first one is Accelerate Aurora, Accelerate Colorado. And right now we have Councilmember Bergen down as with a 2025 representative. Do you wish to continue on that, or does anybody else wish to be on that? Councilmember Hancock. Okay, so we'll have two members on that.
I think we have one elected official.
Oh, just one elected official?
It's fine with me.
Okay.
It's fine with me if you want to stay. Sure.
You're going to continue? Okay.
Okay. Adams County Airport Coordinator.
Adams County Airport Coordinated Committee, and I think that the mayor has to serve on that. And then I think we have Councilmember Gardner, but I think you're only allowed, I don't think that, Jack, I don't think there's a proxy voting on that, is there?
You didn't see me at all the meetings, Mayor?
You were on it? Okay. Do you want to, does anybody else wish to serve on,
Are you saying you don't want to be on there?
does anybody else, I'd love to get off of this. Does anybody, but I don't think, I don't have a choice.
If we don't have folks that want to do it, I'll do it.
Okay, Mayor Pro Tem will do it with me.
Adams County Regional.
Okay, Adams County Regional Economic Partnership. Right now, we have Councilmember Gardner on there. Do you wish to continue?
Yes.
Okay. And the next one. Arapahoe County Community Corrections Board. Well, no, we don't have to do that. We have two APD officers on that.
We've had with them in the past. I enjoy that law enforcement perspective.
Okay, is there an opening for a council member? I don't think so.
Could they?
We could check. I think it's one of those where I think it's, yeah, I know in the past we've heard from them, they enjoy some of the law enforcement perspective.
Yeah.
But we do have two slots, and I could see if there's an interest from a council member, we can certainly see about that.
Is anybody interested in being one of the members?
I would be interested in that.
Councilmember Hancock? Okay.
For which one? I'm sorry, I was trying to document.
It's the correction.
The Arapahoe County Community Corrections Board.
Oh, I would like to serve on that as well.
Okay.
Let's take a vote on the council member and then see if we can.
Can we ask and then come back on that one?
Is there an Adams County one also? Because you might split if
Don't
there's.
see an Adams County one.
We don't have a seat on Adams County, so Mayor and City Manager Batchelor, I'd propose we check with the board,
Okay.
identify whether they're open to
We'll come
an
back on
elected
that one.
official, and we'll come back.
We'll come back on that one.
Future study.
Adams County Regional Opioid Abatement Council. Councilmember Bergen,
I am the chair
you were in the regs.
Arapahoe.
Okay.
of that.
Okay.
Yeah, and I do all
Okay.
the work. No, I'm
And you
just
want to stay on it?
Yes.
Okay, very well. Okay, Aurora Sister Cities, right now we have Councilmember Murillo was on it, and Councilmember Hancock was the alternate.
I would like to continue to serve on Sister Cities.
Okay, so, and Councilmember Hancock, do you wish to stay on?
It's the alternate.
Okay, then we'll do that. Centennial Airport Coordinating Noise Roundtable, Brad Pierce. Okay, so I think we've had two people that are Brad Pierce, former council member, very interested in it, really pays attention to it.
And then we use a planner as an alternate.
Okay, and then a planner as an alternate, so I think we're okay there. Cherry Creek Basin Water Quality Authority.
No.
Is that the one, which is the one, there's one that the mayor pro tem has to serve.
No, that's already scheduled. But that's a little bit conflicting with this
Okay.
one. I was going to take this one because I know that their meetings are long.
You want to do that?
But, no, I enjoyed the meetings of the Water Quality Authority Board. They just can get a little long. And it's right before the Mile High Flood District. But if
Okay.
nobody else wants to be on there, I'm happy to
Thank you, Mayor
take
pro
that
tem, I
one.
appreciate it.
Okay.
And then we have Jessica LaPierre as an alternate, is that okay?
Okay. Cherry Creek Basin Water
Yeah,
Quality
staff,
Authority.
water staff. That's the tax,
staff.
that's staff only.
Staff,
yeah.
okay. Colorado Municipal League Policy Committee. Councilmember Lawson. What's it?
The alternate of the technical committee was wrong on the sheet.
Nope, sorry, who is it? It's not Sherry?
It's not Sherry,
Oh.
it's Dean Bedford.
Gene Bedford? Got it, thank you.
Okay. Let's see, Councilmember Lawson, then Municipal League.
Yeah, we can designate two. Oh, are you already?
No, I was just saying if nobody else would be interested in serving the CML board or the CML policy.
Oh, that'd be great.
I'd be interested in, well, now I'm taking on too much stuff. If somebody else is interested.
So,
in that second seat on the CML policy committee.
how many slots do we have? Two? And so who do we got? Councilmember Lawson, obviously. And then Councilmember Gardner, is everybody okay
It
with that?
says two.
Oh, Liz is the alternate?
Never mind. Sorry. We're not changing that.
Okay. Liz, let me. Okay.
Sorry.
That's good. We don't want
Okay.
you to.
Now,
Colorado Air and Spaceport.
Colorado Air and Spaceport Advisory Board. Dave Gruber is, and so it doesn't require, that doesn't require.
That's you
Councilmember, right?
appointing, yeah, that's, I think it's just, yeah, that's not, that's, you, that's, you can continue him if you want to.
Is there any objection to having former Councilmember Gruber continue on that? Okay. That's done.
Yeah, I don't know that we actually officially have a seat. I technically am still on the board, but I'm not sure that they're officially giving us a seat
There's no
anymore.
relationship with the city at this point.
Okay, Dr. Cog.
Dr. Cog, let's see, we had Mayor
I'd
Pro Tem,
like
you
to
were
stay on
primary?
as the primary. I'm on a few committees there.
Okay.
You don't want to be the
Angela
alternate?
Lawson as the alternate.
No, she just said she
Or-
would come off.
Oh, you, Councilmember Lawson wants to go on? Okay, Councilmember Andrews wants to,
As alternate, yep.
And then we've got, there are subcommittees, there's an Adams County subcommittee and an Arapahoe County subcommittee. Again, this is for the subcommittee, so for
But the Adams
Dr.
County
Cog, for
Transportation.
The Transportation Subcommittee? Okay.
Yeah.
You'd like to keep that one? Okay.
It's the AdCom, right? I've known that one for years.
no, this is not AgCog.
Yeah, she's talking about the same thing.
Okay, we're same thing? Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Can I stay on that one? Okay.
And then for Adams, I can do that one.
Or that's Adams that she's on. Do you want to be the alternate right now? Councilmember Medina is the alternate for Adams.
If that's fine, yeah. Yeah.
You take the next one, too.
Okay, so you're the alternate for Adams, and then we need Arapahoe. We've got you down, Councilmember Medina, for Arapahoe.
You'd be willing to
okay?
give that up?
Somebody wants.
Anybody else want to do Arapahoe?
Councilmember Andrews.
Yeah.
Great.
You get to talk about like specific funding for local
I just
transportation
don't know who would
projects.
ever want to do the E470 Public Highway Authority.
I don't either. Who could that be? Maybe the chair?
We have an alternate.
Okay, Councilmember Bergen.
Chair Bergen, do you want to be E470?
I am the chair of the E470 entire board, so I think I should stay.
Okay. Who's going to be the alternate? Okay. We need an alternate.
Amy?
Amy or Rob, do you want to do alternate?
I'll do it.
Okay. Okay, Fitzsimmons Innovation Community, okay. Well,
Wait,
I was just going to add, you know, we never say when they meet, but they do meet the second and possibly fourth Thursday of every month in the morning for like 2 to 3 hours. Just throw that out.
I thought it was pretty much a blow. No. Kidding. Just kidding. Okay. So let's see, Fitzsimmons Innovation Committee, okay, myself, and then Councilmember Bergen agreed to step down. Councilmember Bergen and Councilmember Horton will take her place. Is there any objection to that? Okay.
And Mayor, just to clarify, and City Manager Batchelor has taken
Oh, and
formerly
we need to
Councilmember
put you down
Gardner's
there.
spot.
Okay, okay. Then Highline Canal Collaborative, I'm the honorary chair. I mean, I have to go to meetings. And then, and we've got.
Mayor,
Yeah,
You're on.
Bergen is out and I'm in.
Right.
For the Fitzsimmons Innovation, so
right.
we can make that
Oh,
in.
so we got to change
So
it.
about that, Katie.
Okay.
Yeah, because he threw me off, that's what I said.
Okay, we changed it on here. Okay.
Yeah, just want to make sure it's
And then one above
reflected.
this, it should be Kaufman, Bergen, Bachelor.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Kaufman, Horton, Bachelor.
Horton Bachelor. Okay.
And I believe
Katie,
for
you and I
the
will compare
next
notes.
one, that Councilmember Jackson was interested.
She wants to do it?
The Highline?
Highland Canal, yep.
Okay.
We can put her down, and if she doesn't, we'll bring it back on that.
I do need you,
Okay.
Mayor Pro Tem.
You're
Okay.
welcome.
So Councilmember Jackson and then Sarah Young is staff. Okay.
Marshall, is she still good to serve on that? Okay, all right.
Oh, we're behind.
She doesn't have
Okay,
too much stuff.
Regional Economic Advancement Partnership, I-70 Regional Economic Advancement Partnership. Dave Gruber, is anybody objection to having Dave continue on there?
You gotta ask him.
Yeah, we'll ask him.
Yeah, I guess if he says no, we got to bring those back.
Okay, Aerotropolis Regional Transportation Authority. We have Curtis Gardner on there. Amy Wiles, Councilmember Amy Wiles will be on there.
And then alternate.
We need an alternate.
I can do it.
Okay, Councilmember Medina will be the alternate then. Okay, Sand Creek Regional Greenway, Ruben Medina, yay, okay. Spirit of Aurora, Councilmember Medina, yay.
If
Urban
anybody
Drainage.
new is interested in that one, it is kind of cool. They allocate, city fundraising funds. Are you okay
I'm sorry,
with that?
sir. We
Yeah.
can do
He's
more.
got a lot of stuff. He doesn't need to keep it all.
Oh, Councilmember Andrews instead of Councilmember Medina? Okay.
Although, Councilmember Andrews, have you signed up for more than 3, my friend? Because just as a recommendation. Okay.
Urban Drainage.
Yeah, just so we're clear on Spirit, it's an ex officio role. I know it says on the board, it's ex officio, so it's a non-voting member of the board, but as Councilmember or Mayor Pro Tem said, it helps allocate funds and answer those things, but it is a non-voting ex officio.
Okay. Urban Drainage and Flood Control District Board
That
of Directors.
has to be
Yay.
me.
Can I ask a question about that one? Mayor?
Yes.
Is the rule that has to be the mayor or mayor pro tem, is that their rule or our rule?
I think it's their role.
The reason I'm asking is because to serve in a leadership position on that board, you have to have been there for at least 2 years, meaning Aurora will never be able to serve in a leadership role.
Because we switch every year.
We switch our mayor pro tem every year. Just bringing, I'm not saying,
Hey,
but I'm just bringing that up. We will
Yeah,
never have.
we've had a tradition of always the Mayor Pro Tem doing it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is fine, it just, I'm letting everybody know, it means we will never have.
Let's clarify that's again, their rule and not something we've done. Maybe we misinterpreted their rules.
There are other council members on there.
No,
This year I served, there were.
that are not mayor pro tems.
every year, I served on it, and it was always a mayor or a mayor pro tem,
Yeah, I don't remember.
right?
So maybe it's
Okay.
cities that send their
We're
mayor
gonna have
that
to get
get
going here,
leadership.
so let's
roles.
go Mayor Pro Tem.
Okay,
Is that okay?
yeah.
Okay, then Visit
But I'm not
Aurora.
doing anything. Got too
We've got,
We've got a couple of council slots, but we typically have Kim and Laura serve as staff
okay.
reps.
Stephanie Hancock, would you like to continue on that?
Yes.
Councilmember Hancock. And then Councilmember Coombs, you were down as the, Mayor Pro Tem Coombs, you're down as the alternate.
Well, I think some other folks might be interested.
I'm
Okay,
interested in, as an alternative.
okay, Councilmember Horton.
Alternate, okay.
Alternate, sorry.
And they
Okay.
meet monthly, right?
Yeah.
Aurora Economic Development Council, I'm going to go on that. The mayor traditionally is on that. I've been on that for the last couple of years. I'm going to be on that.
And then we need to also still, so you would replace Casal, we still need for Sundberg and Jurinsky's seats.
Okay, and then who?
So we need two more.
So, yeah, Councilmember Hancock, Councilmember Gardner, Councilmember Lawson, you all are on there. You want to continue serving, just to confirm? Okay.
And we've got.
Oh, right, because now Amy's there as the PED chair, so if Bergen wants to stay on.
I think there's terms as well we have to think about. Yeah. It's a 3-year term.
Okay, then.
Well, then I didn't serve.
So we've got 2 seats, two seats available.
I'll do it.
Councilmember Andrews.
In the spirit of Aurora, if you want to continue to do that, this is my third.
As you on there.
She was moving over here, but so she can go for one of those 2 seats.
Oh, I can go longer.
And Jason, if we can put Ruben back on Spirit of Aurora so that Councilmember Andrews is not doing too many his first seat.
Amy also is interested in.
I said if you need me to do it, I can do it.
Yeah, we have more room.
Yeah, we have 2 seats total.
Oh, but you want
No, I want
one.
to
Oh, wait,
stay
Amy, you're on it because you're the PED
No,
chair.
I'm saying Spirit of Aurora.
Oh,
It's not
Spirit
me.
of Aurora.
He's overloaded, I can take.
This is not that.
But
That's
I think you
Katie.
also have.
I got
Oh, Katie, put me down.
Like, everybody calm down.
It's fine.
Put her where
Stop
Steve
adding
is.
more stuff.
Sunberg was.
Okay, and then,
Okay, then we're done.
Oh, I think
Right.
Kaufman's taking
so
Amslu's
that's, you
spot.
read those off and make sure see if there's any other.
Okay, so.
The mayor.
2026 representatives for ADC, the mayor, Councilmember Lawson, Councilmember Wiles, Councilmember Gardner, Councilmember Bergen, Councilmember Andrews, and Councilmember Hancock.
Yep, so we gotta
Okay.
put Andrews where Jurinsky lives.
Okay.
Okay,
Noise, right
and
there.
then we're good.
Okay, National Organization to Ensure a Sound Controlled
That's
Environment,
mayor
Noise,
up there.
Brad Pierce.
No, she's already got her spot down in the bottom.
What's that?
On top of Katie. Are you
What's
guys
that?
on
Yeah.
ABC?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's going to be where Amslu. There it is, perfect.
Okay.
Trying to keep her.
And the last one we got is noise. And
Okay, Noise, Brad Pierce has done an incredible job on that. I was former council member, I suggest he continue.
Yep,
Okay, good.
all right, we're done with that.
Do we build up Aurora
we've got,
update?
we've got it. Laura can get that through in 20 minutes, and then we'll get you all out of here in time for the meeting.
We gotta do build up Aurora, and then, yeah, that's it. What? Right, no, because you got elected
We
to
don't
that.
appoint to that.
So we can't tell them what to do about that, Angela. That's all you.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council members. Laura Perry, Deputy City Manager, here tonight to give you an update on Build Up Aurora. So I'll walk you through the work to date of our infrastructure task force, our capital planning process, and then share with you the proposed plan for 2026. So this statement in front of you represents our commitment to infrastructure in the city. This is a statement that we've been communicating publicly, and what this represents is 2 things. One, that the city has a responsibility to maintain and construct infrastructure to support our residents, businesses, and visitors to our city. And we have a proven track record of fiscal responsibility. I'll talk a little bit about that further as we go through the slides. This slide represents all of the assets that the city maintains. So over 140 city facilities, over 380 traffic signals, 98 bridges, just to highlight a couple. These assets require maintenance and investment, and many of these are aging quickly. So there's really 3 things that led us to this conversation through Build Up Aurora. One is lack of funds for capital needs in the city. So as I mentioned, we have a long list of capital assets that the city maintains. Many of those are reaching the end of their useful life, requiring replacement, which are much more costly. 2, the city is seeing a lot of growth. So we have a lot of undeveloped areas that require the construction of regional infrastructure, whether that's new recreation centers, roads, bridges, all of which to support the growth that we're seeing. And then 3rd, we're growing. And as we continue to grow and our plan to grow more, that compounds the aging of our infrastructure because that wear and tear wears on that age more quickly, thereby resulting in more costly repairs and replacements. This is a projection of our population. We're the third largest city in Colorado, and in the last 50 years, we've added over 300,000 people during that time, and as you can see here, are projected to continue to grow. There are 3 ways the city funds capital projects. This is really key.
All right, we got internet and we're going to be recording, so we got to wait for the mayor now. Well, Mayor Pro Tem.
Okay.
So let's do the 2 things with Councilmember Jackson. So let's do the DDA appointment.
Okay, all right. In the interest of time, I'm going to go ahead and step in to chair the meeting. I'm going to restate an announcement that the mayor made while the power was down, which is that he will be appointing Allie Jackson for the DDA Board Council position. And I'll ask again if there's any objection from members to that appointment. All right, seeing none, congratulations and thank you, Councilmember Jackson.
And
All
then
right,
the
and now,
AEDC.
We have 1 seat.
1 seat on the AEDC.
We have another seat on AEDC.
Katie pointed out that the city clerk pointed out that the mayor is already on there as a ex officio, so he does not need to take Councilmember Casal's seat. So we have 1 more seat if somebody's interested in serving on AEDC.
I am interested.
Okay.
Okay, and I'm going to pass it back to the mayor.
Councilmember Jackson, okay, so,
And we did the DDA already, so we're ready to
Yep,
move on.
I made the
we
DDA
do the
announcement.
DDA
Yeah,
under,
so we're ready to go with DC.
Put that on the record.
okay.
We're still on the Build Up Aurora update.
Okay, Bill of Aurora update.
So Mayor and council members, recognizing time, I'm going to skip the background and we'll save that for you all for the February 7th winter workshop. But really want to focus on this slide because this is talking about next steps. So in sum, over the last year, the Infrastructure Task Force has received a presentation or several presentations monthly of the city's capital project needs that have been prioritized from various capital master planning efforts that involve multiple touch points with the community. That has resulted in the classification of needs by the 5 focus areas that you see listed here. What we'd like to propose to council is an inclusive process around these 5 focus areas where we would engage stakeholders, our boards and commissions, members of the public, stakeholder invites that you may have, to 5 focused meetings to solicit input from community members, stakeholders on the city's project priorities. We would work here over the next month to develop the logistics around these meetings and obviously work closely with you all, but you all would be invited to attend all of them and hear and engage on the various project needs in the city that have been prioritized to date. That list totals $1.6 billion. And that is prioritized, and the plan would be that list would be further prioritized based on project readiness and other values. From there, as I mentioned, we're coming back to Winter Workshop. We'll provide more information around Build Up Aurora. And then we would have another public engagement outreach session in more or less the March timeframe, which would be joint council town hall meetings to again hone down on the project priorities and have community-wide meetings to solicit input. All of that feedback would come forward to the Infrastructure Task Force, who was unanimously approved by resolution in July of 2024. And those members would then make a recommendation back to the City Council, which staff would bring back to you at the spring workshop on May 9th. That's scheduled. And then council would then deliberate that recommendation and make a determination whether to move recommendations forward through a council process in the May-June timeframe. So at a high level, that's what we're proposing. The immediate next step is developing the plan for 5 meetings around the 5 focus areas, all of which involve projects that have been presented to the Infrastructure Task Force. We will go in more depth with you at the February 7th workshop on those projects. But backup for those can be found on the website under the Infrastructure Task Force Ad Hoc Policy Committee page, and you will find all the various presentations, as well as a comprehensive list of those projects in your council backup tonight. So tonight, seeking endorsement on taking that next step, with obviously, again, the commitment, we will definitely be back in front of you here very soon at the February 7th workshop.
Any questions or comments? Any objection to moving forward? Seeing none, that's the direction.
Thank you.
So we have to be on the dais.
Give me that in 15 minutes.
Okay, seeing no further business before the Aurora City Council study session, we are now adjourned and will reconvene at 6 o'clock for the regular meeting on the dais.